go. All right, put your best foot and your best smile on.
First thing we're talking about, we're gonna talk about it. That preacher. That preacher got robbed with all that jewelry. Okay, yo. Let's jump in.
Didn't we see James and Jay? And welcome to the James and James show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing? You know what it is and you know what time it is. Like I always say, I can't control what happens on the streets of Baltimore, New York, or DC, but I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. Man, we got some shows lined up for you right now. So, always got something else, and then we got the big thing. So we're going to talk about the relationships of modern day versus traditional woman or male, either or, and then what is the responsibility on each part. Yeah, now we ain't gonna cut no corners today. I can tell you that right now. We ain't gonna cut no corners. I got my friend, my co-host for this week, the honorable, the magnificent James H. Porter III. Say something to him, James.
Hey, Harrisburg and surrounding area. Welcome to the James and James show.
All right. So listen, cut across the field there. I know that's right. I can't cut across the field right now, Benzine. I can't cut across. But listen, New York City, there was a preacher who got robbed in the pulpit. Him and his wife, they had $10 million. $1 million. I'm sorry, $1 million worth of jewelry on.
Say what?
Yes, $1 million worth of jewelry on in New York and got robbed in the pulpit. And you know what? I know Benzino, what? Listen, I can't, rappers, basketball players, they wear a whole lot of bling. You don't count that up. I don't know how much that is, but they wear it.
$1 million?
But the preacher, $1 million worth of jewelry. He had on, what was taken from him was $400,000 worth of jewelry, which means his wife had on $600,000 worth of jewelry. Oh my goodness. Right. I don't know what to say, but I can say this. Why do you have, if the object is to keep it on the word and keep it God focused, why are you blinging with $400,000 worth of jewelry and just flashing it around? He says, well, everybody knows I like to dress nice. I don't apologize for how I dress. But you're taking something away from the service, obviously, because they didn't rob you after church. So,
whoa. Yeah, there's some feet that say, won't he do it? Won't he do it? I had a need and God provided it.
He didn't rob you after church. He robbed you during the word.
Wow.
During the word. Can you imagine somebody inviting that thief to come to church and get his life together and say, you ought to quit stealing. And he said, you know what? You right.
But the Bible says, come as you are.
Right. So I'm looking for a sign. That's why I can imagine him saying, I'm looking for a sign. And he sits there and goes, praise the, how much jewelry he got on? What? Oh, I'm coming back next week. I'm getting Man, Nook, and Ray. Because they came in there ready. They had a gun on the preacher, gun on the wife, gun on the deacons. They was like, ain't nobody moving.
Nobody had a sword?
Well, if they did,
There you go.
they
I'm talking
didn't
about the
draw.
word. Nobody picked up the sword?
No, I don't think they was ready for. I don't think they was ready for that, brother. And so they said that after it was over, they ran out, and the pastor. And this is where it gets crazy, y'all. The pastor gets in his car, follows them,
Oh, for his cut.
seeing that they changed the clothes, hold on, and got a perfect description of the assailant. Hold on, man. Hold on. Somebody had a gun to your head, a gun to your wife's head, a gun to the deacon, and you had enough nerve to run out and chase them and got close enough to see them change their clothes and a description.
Well, I wasn't always saved. I had a hood time.
A hood tie. Tressa said wife was cheating. Listen, there are some places that it just shouldn't go down. And like he said, he's not apologizing for what he wears or nothing like that. But you have a responsibility of some sort in all of this. They just didn't say, I want to decide to rob this church. Nah, you showed him. You showed him everything. $1 million. Not. He said, I had my bishop ring on. He said, I had my bishop chain on.
No.
Hold on. We got somebody said, it just. Oh, yes. Come on, Salisbury. You know what I'm talking about. So,
You saying they can't wear what I want the church no more?
no. That's not what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, if you want them to focus on the Lord, don't sit up there with $1 million worth of jewelry on and don't think they're not focusing. They're focusing on you. You keep throwing that ring around, and that thing start hitting the light, and then start hitting the stained glass windows, and it comes over here and hits your glasses just right. You say, yeah, I'm going to get him. Because criminal minded is criminal minded. And I don't care where you are, but they're going to get them. Our church got robbed before. They come and break on something, take something. Yeah, churches get robbed.
They get robbed.
But $1 million, you getting robbed. You getting robbed.
So did they get a recovery on it?
No, actually the preacher offered, because you're struggling, the preacher offered $50,000 reward that he would pay himself. And I'm going, how you offering $50,000 reward? You seen him. You ran him down. Oh, anyway, it just don't make sense. Like you said, Benzina, I just wanted to make sense. Salisbury said, Lord, have mercy. Yeah, we just wanted to make sense. That's all. But I just thought that was, comedians are going to have a ball with this right here. They're going to call him every reverend this, reverend that. Salisbury said it was a setup. Oh, I believe it was a setup. I believe, he walks around New York with all this stuff on anyway. But he said they must have knew, because when they took my ring off and my bishop bracelet, they only patted me really right here because they knew I had a bunch of jewelry on under that. And they took that.
Wait. He walks around the city like that?
Yes.
And they chose to rob him in church?
Yes. He figured wasn't no cops that gonna be there.
So he's all day long walking around in the midst of the sin.
Come on.
Come to church.
And get robbed. Look.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
That 50 grand came from the members that said they stole 90 grand out of her account. I know. Because you teared it up. But listen. Huh?
Let's talk insurance.
Oh, all of that. You know it was insured.
Now let's talk insurance. Now the preacher saying, won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Jamar Johnson said, something in the milk ain't clean, if you ask me. In the words of what was it? Who sang that song? James, something just ain't right. Oh, that's what?
Oh, I don't know. That wasn't the Clark sisters, was it? You know my genre is limited.
Right. Benzina Hart said, you better know what to wear to church. Huh? He know now. Sounds like an inside job.
So he had no bodyguards, no nothing, no.
No.
Well, what city was this?
New York.
So somebody bit the whole apple.
Look, he said, keep in mind, the deacon didn't move 1 inch, so he might have been in on it also. Well, I can't say that, Jamar, because there was a gun on the deacon. Like, they covered all bases. Now, yes, it is wrong for somebody to come into the house of the Lord. Blood guns raised, and I'll kill you and do all that. But I think there's also has to be a responsibility. I remember when I was going to New York in my comic view days, and I would have a nice chain on, and they would say, "Kid, you might want to tuck that in your shirt." I'm just saying, because they do that snatch and grab. You might want to just tuck that, brother. And so, if they'll do that for just a chain, that probably cost me about $150.
Go on.
What do you think they'll do with $400,000 worth of jewelry? Turned around and seen his wife with $600,000 worth of jewelry. Listen, y'all getting that? Yeah. Trey Short said it was a setup. Everybody's leaning to that. That's right. Benjamin Langer said, doesn't mean the deacons weren't playing a part just to keep it covered. Uh-oh. All right, Ben. How you doing, brother? Yes, you're right. I'm telling you, this thing is foul. It smells to the high heavens. Oh, my God. But I just wanted to bring that out because I thought that was hilarious and sad at the same time. Don't rob the priest, please, because we ain't got no money.
Thank God for insurance.
Yeah, we ain't got no money.
No, he got some money.
Oh, he might.
And he about to do a come up.
Yeah. Oh, that was insurance. Yeah. He said, and they had a gun on an 8-month baby. Don't you say another word before I take that gold nipple.
You gaga nothing.
Oh, yeah. So we can go on and on and on about this, but our main segment, somebody is might not like all the things that's going to come out today, but in your heart, you have to reach down in your heart.
Wait a minute, before you go on.
Yes, sir.
We in the studio. This ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. Don't come up in here. Okay, go on.
That's right. That's right.
Go on.
Yeah, my jewelry in total cost $4. So traditional relationship versus modern day relationship.
Holla pop time.
Yeah, it's giving. Yeah, traditional versus modern. Some people say, well, what does traditional consist of? I don't know why, Benzina. What does it consist of? What does the modern consist of? We don't have to really dig that deep into that. You see modern. You see it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We see what they're presenting. We know what the old school is. The question is, it's really, what do men and women, what do they really want? Do a man really want the new school? Or do they want something that looks like the new school but acts like the old school?
Whoa.
Now, they won't say that. They won't say it. Oh, but they want it. And what do women expect? I don't know. We're going to get into it. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. The lines are open. We're going to get into this because I'm going to tell you what I like. I like the old school. I like the old school. James?
Well, I think you didn't really clarify like you should have.
Okay, well, help me out there, brother.
But all the men love to date the modern day. But when you plan on keeping them, marrying them, it changes the scope. We all of the guys want to date the modern day girl because they have lowered the standard, and it is what it is.
Hank Reed said modern is instant mashed potatoes, just add water.
Listen, so that means I don't gotta. They don't. What did you used to do when you kept the meat overnight and you
thaw it out?
No, and you cooked it and basted it.
Marinated.
Nobody marinates no more. Everything is instant. And if you had your choice between, you had to go for the treasure and the prize, or you had to go with the instant mashed potatoes.
Right. So Benzina said the modern thing really don't work. But Lee Hodge says, what is old and what is new? Well, Lee, what do you think old and new is? I mean, you know how it, well, I can speak from my experience. I know what my mom did. I know what my sister
wait a minute,
did.
stop right there. You said mom?
I know what my mom did 2 generations ago. I know what my sister did, my generation. So I know people that are still willing to go above and beyond for their man.
And for their woman.
And for their woman. But before we really dig in on that woman part, men and women, we also have a responsibility to reciprocate when these things are starting to happen. It's our job. It's our job. I don't really turn this always into a religious thing, but nowhere in the Bible does it say, wives, love your husband. But that responsibility falls on us. So, what do we like? What do men really want? What is the problem with this new age generation?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I play. And I can honestly say that there has been a falling off of weddings. I used to do weddings this wedding season this year. And so there's a reason behind that. Is it that the men don't want to get married or the women don't want to get married?
Well, this young man and this is a young man, he said, old seems like it had love to make a relationship, and new seems like it's about lust and
he's preaching.
Yeah, lust. But they don't really try to keep a relationship, but they are trying to keep that lustful nature.
He's preaching, because now you're talking about love versus lust. And that kind of sums it up. Old school versus new school.
Come on.
Listen, when we were kids, I was trying to get her number. This generation is trying to get their address. You know, I'm being polite because we on.
Right.
You know, I was trying to get her number. They trying to get their address. And so it changes. The standards have been lowered to a point right now where that responsibility for me, and see, that's why Kenny asked me to come, because he knows I got some serious views on this subject. When women don't expect to be held to a higher, the men to be held to a higher standard, the men just won't do it.
717-889-7181. It's getting ready to get hot. 717-889-7181. Because really, he's just getting warmed up.
No,
Hank Green said, old school is hard to have because it's too much access to other interests. Where one won't do, someone else will. Woo! Do you think the internet and social media has taken a hold? James, someone asked the question, what did you do at weddings?
I played for the weddings.
Oh, okay.
And what it was is 10, 15 years ago, I was playing for 2 or 3 weddings, 4 or 3 weddings. Sometimes I had 2 weddings on a Saturday. And marriage was, see, before marriage was the goal. That was the ultimate prize. You got married, you doing your thing. But now the ultimate goal is just the date.
Yeah.
To keep moving. Nobody's saying, listen, I'm in this to win it.
I like that.
I'm in this to win it. I'm not just in it for these last couple of, and see, now don't get it wrong, and please don't get it twisted. I had my moments. I was a young knucklehead. I ain't going to even try to come at this place like, but I'm telling you, when I look back over my life and I think things over, I'm saying, I see the mistakes that I made.
Right.
And I see where I'm at right now, but I can also stay without a shadow of a doubt. It makes a difference now because the women of today are not even like, can you make some dumplings?
No, everybody make no dumplings. Well, Damone, you said times change, Damone. Damone Maxwell said times change. Times do change, Damone. They really do. But what do you think, what would you gravitate to? This old school stuff? Or what really keeps a man at home? Because, but then on the flip side.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, because you're throwing it all on the women.
Right. On the flip side, though, I mean, we got a responsibility too. I ain't gonna beat up on the women like that bad. But men, we have a responsibility too. You know, in our own immaturity, we don't appreciate if a woman would cook. We come home and, well, we already ate because I was out with the fellas. We stopped over here and had some wings. So, but I get it tomorrow. You know, that's not showing a whole lot of appreciation for them. They done been in there doing their thing. We don't want to come in on time. They say, hey, dinner's going to be done at 6. We call them at 8 and say, we ain't coming. I mean, there's some things here that we have to do to show that our woman, that we appreciate what they do.
Well, just to really sum it up, and I'm not even going to talk, because it's not about the cooking.
Well, I'm just using it as an example.
No, I'm just saying it's not about none of that. The bottom line is I don't need an equal. I'm speaking biblically. God designed it that I would be the head of the household, but I would love my wife to the point where she would trust and believe that any move I made would be for her betterment. And so they've lost that now. The girls have gotten, no offense, what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately?
And so that mentality has just festered and grown and grown and grown. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I say it all the time. The women of today don't know their place. They even get offended when you use such verbiage.
Oh yeah, they don't like that.
They don't know their place.
Know your place?
Now, I know that the men have gone astray, but there used to be a time when the women kept us in line. Where the women said, oh, no, 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 no. Don't hey me.
Right,
You can't talk to me like that.
right.
You can't such and such, such, such,
Mhm.
such. But now they've lowered the standard to the point where they accept anything.
Well, Miss Paulette Smith says, even when the woman holds the man to a higher standard, they still won't do it. They just going to go to someone else who aren't going to hold them to that standard, at all. That happens.
And now we see she's speaking about the immaturity of the man.
Of the man.
And so, like I said, when I said before, I know that I was a knucklehead back in the day, going through some times.
Yeah.
But the difference is, though, there used to be a time, no matter what, women would not tolerate it.
So Damone says you need to change with the times. You need to be able to cook and clean for yourself. Women are able to work and stay at home. A wife is critically endangered. Well, you know what? I don't have no problem with cooking. I ain't got no problem with cooking at all. I ain't got no problem cleaning my house. If I'm the king of my castle, then I can pick up a broom. I can do something. I ain't got no problem with that.
He gonna pick it up.
But what? Somebody got to pick it up. She's way over there.
I gotta hand it to her.
No. But Demo, you're absolutely right. Yeah, we got two people still working. You working 8, they working 8. Sometimes they working 12, you working 8. Sometimes their job is physically more challenging than the man's job.
Oh, no. Always.
Yeah. And so
women.
No, I'm talking about on their job, not just at home, on their job. You may have a nice little cushy office job, and she's over there waiting tables or running a forklift, because I see plenty of women running these forklifts now. So now, here you are, she's just as tired as you, or if not more tired, and then we look at them like they done bumped their head.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but remember the old saying, and it was true, a woman's work is never done. Mom ran the house, worked, fed us, clothed us, disciplined us, schooled us. She did it all.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Things have changed a little bit.
Right.
And they have taken.
Woo, good question, Benzina.
What's the question?
Are in this modern day world, are the men still providers? Whoa.
The men are not stepping up to where they used to be.
At all.
At all. No doubt.
Good point, Benzina.
No doubt.
Good point. They are not doing it.
And see, if you understand it correctly, wherever a man's treasure is, that's where his heart lies.
Yeah.
And if his treasure is in hustling or out running the streets or doing this, and not his family and his wife and his girl, you'll see it.
Yes.
His behavior will push it forward.
Yes.
But that's why when you meet these guys and you're in the midst of dating, them is red flags.
Them are red flags.
Look at that.
And a lot of times we don't look at red flags on either side.
No.
We need to pay attention and act on that.
Does she look good?
Yeah, that's all we want to know. Lee said it's about communication. He said, if you're not coming home for dinner, you pick up the phone in modern time, send a text, tell her something. Now, Lee, this is true, Lee, but does that make her feel any better when she done rushed home from her job, got this all together, and then you text her and say, I ain't coming right now? So yes, that is the consideration to call or text. But we're talking about, it don't make them feel no better at all. It don't make them feel no better at all. So the young man said, correct, technology has standardized the way people look at each other in terms of what they like or what's in a person instead of, instead of personality and or common likes. Yeah, it's hard to figure out the common likes because we see everything on their pictures on Facebook. We know they got a dimple right here, right below the waist. We got, we got they got knobby knees. Nothing to the imagination. We see it all. Chad says, I feel like it's a simple fix. Okay, Chad. The problem is we look at each other as boyfriend and girlfriend, or even husband and wife, instead of family. And you know what? Just to piggyback on that, Chaz, what I don't like is when you have these girlfriends and you call them wifey. This is wifey right here.
Well, everybody's playing house now.
See, wife used to be a sacred word. Like when you said, this is my wife, yo, that meant something. But this wifey, oh, that's my wifey right here. Man, that don't mean nothing. That don't mean nothing. Dave Smith said Facebook allows most of us to live out our fantasies.
Yeah, but just
come on,
before we go there, first thing we need to remember about Facebook is it was designed by some college students for fun. It wasn't meant to be the Bible. It wasn't meant to be the spokesman and the trendsetter that it's become. They wanted to meet girls and date and know what was going on campus. So they created it and it grew. And now we're looking at this thing like it's the gospel. When you see something on Facebook, we taking it too much to heart. When it should be something that we're looking at like, we're looking at it like this is entertainment.
Right.
They've taken it to the next level. Like, when did Facebook start dictating? Well, I take that back. It has become a place where it's dictating lives, and it shouldn't be. They're emulating the stuff they see on Facebook, and that's not what a real relationship is like. Right. The way they portray it on Facebook, there's so many things. The pranks they're doing, all the games they're doing, all the different things. That's not a real relationship.
Right. Bill Jones says, times may have changed, even though the man is the head of the household in relationships, they are considered as one team, but must say that the morals and values, respect and responsibilities in a relationship does not change. Chad says we have to hold our relationships to the same standard we hold our family relationships. We have to be that forgiving and understanding. You know, Chaz, forgiving and understanding.
It's not a man's strong point.
That, James, you was right with me. That is not a man's strong point. You know, a man, I'm sorry, man, but we can go out here and cheat week after week.
I believe we're about to take a commercial break.
And they can find out week after week that we did it. But we find out
commercial
that she texts a man. And we about lose our mind. We tell them they ain't worth nothing. How you out here? You stank whole thought out here. What is wrong with you? And they're looking like a texting. Really? A texting. You made 3 babies on me.
Oh.
Come on, y'all.
But let me jump in on that. That is true. That is true, without a shadow of a doubt. Women have a mothering, forgiving nature. And as men, the women tolerate too much. And as men, they tend to take advantage of it and move, no matter what happens. It's just what you said. He's out ripping and running the streets and doing all he's doing. And the minute he thinks he's over his girlfriend's house and he finds out she's texting somebody, he gets mad and leaves his girlfriend to come home to fuss at his wife about cheating, about whatever she's doing, knowing good well what he's doing. But see, now we're back to the old school. There used to be a time when marriage was sacred.
Right.
and it was held to a standard
by both parts.
by both parts, and I say it once again, men have dropped the ball to a certain extent when it comes to this, because if we were leading in the right direction, the women would follow.
Hank says men and women enjoy low-hanging fruit. Committed relationships are becoming a thing of the past. Men and women are looking for what is easy and accessible right now. 717-889-7181. Listen, the lines are open. If y'all got something to say, I know this thing can get hotter than it is right now. 717-889-7181. In the words of my good friend, that's time to tear it up now. It's time to tear it up now. Tressa said, no, they are not. Tressa, I don't know what that means. I missed it. What are they not? So come back on that one. Damone said, y'all talking about women who were 2 generations removed from slavery.
Oh,
come on, Damone. Damone, you tearing it up right now, Damone.
Talking about we need to marry Harriet Tubman.
Okay, Tressa says the wife belongs at home and he provides. She said sweet and simple.
Let me take that.
Okay. But if we could get back to that.
Is that what she's saying?
That's what she said.
Listen, and I said it before, women are saying, what have you done for me lately? But see, if we was to pull up to the table, put the table in front of us, me on this side, her on that side, and I say, what you bringing to the table? And I said, I got this, I got a couple homes, I got a job, I got a product, I got insurance, I got this and that. And what are you putting up on the table when it comes to her turn? So you're basically saying, I'm coming to you, because see, I said this once before on my one page. Men are the only, women and children and dogs are the only ones that are loved, absolutely. We're only loved if we're giving and providing. If I'm not giving or providing, that means I don't love you.
What y'all think about that one now? 717-889-7181. Barbara says, from the male perspective, it is easy to jump to a woman who will give you what the other woman won't. Then what do you do? What do you do when you feel women should do for, what did she write?
They should hold the standard, hold the line.
Or do women have to wait until men get tired, jumping to where they think the grass is greener? If you aren't giving up the goods, they don't want to be the provider, Paulette. Yay. Paulette, listen, a lot of men are like that. It's like, why am I doing this and nothing? But but on the flip side of that, Paulette,
Preach.
on the flip side of that is that, and I said this before, if we take the sex off the table completely, you are still expecting us to date as if we are married. You still expect us to pick up the tab. As much as women gonna get on here and say, no, I'll pick up my tab. Listen, we go out 30 times, you may pick the tab up once. You expect me to
Once, twice, 2 times, lady.
be there, provider. You want that comfort. You do. Let's take sex off the table. I don't want the sex. I just want to date you. What does that mean? Because it don't mean you going. What do you want to do? Just ask me. Come on through. We got a call. Come in. We're going to tear it up.
Yeah, because I was going to say something. We're going to take that call.
Kenny's Corner, go ahead with your question and comment, please.
What's up, neighbor? Oh, Chaz, what's happening, baby?
Yeah, what up?
Give it to me, man. Give it to me. Huh?
Listen, this is why we're talking. I heard y'all speaking about my comment. I
Right.
was talking about being more understanding and forgiving. I just wanted to touch base on that. like you said, like as men, that's not our strong point, but that's why we're men, because we improve on the things that's not our strong point. And that's why we find a good woman to help us grow in these ways. Like, you know what I mean? So
Help me.
I personally feel like the person you choose to go through these battles, these life journeys with you, really dictate a lot more about who you become than normal people.
Yes.
understand.
Oh,
Like, we
he talking about
underestimate
Michelle
that.
Obama.
Yes, you're right.
We
Chaz, you're right.
underestimate that a lot.
You're right, brother, because I'm
So,
telling you, you got a winner.
Absolutely, absolutely, and I appreciate that, like, to my heart, like, cause to come from where I was at to be where I am and still have so far to go, it's like you gotta stop and just be appreciative of it, and you gotta be willing to make these sacrifices and take these different routes that you normally wouldn't have taken by yourself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I find myself doing things that I would never have done by myself if I wasn't with the woman I was with.
That's right.
But that goes to show, like, you got to treat that like family, though, because just like a relationship, just like family, just like your job, it's going to be ups and downs. You're never going to be so happy with your job. You're never going to be always happy with your mother. You're never going to be always happy with your brother.
Okay.
Things go wrong. You got to treat your relationship like that, because that's your family. That's who you're going through this life with. You gotta be able to forgive and understand and grow with that person, because you're doing it with your family. Without even second guessing it. Why? Because that's your blood. That's what you was told. That's my family. That's my mother. That's my brother. That's what I'm supposed to. All right, that's your son. That's who you chose. You went outside your family and chose somebody, and that's who you chose to put in your circle. So you gotta give them that same energy, brother.
All right.
All right.
Oh, Chaz, you on it, baby. Thank you, man.
Wait a minute. I want to backtrack just a quick second. When you said,
Appreciate you taking this call.
No doubt.
appreciate you,
Another
man.
caller too.
Another call.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, second caller, go ahead with your comment or question, please.
Yes, hi, this is Paulette Smith. I didn't want to type in back and forth, so I decided to call. But yes,
Well, hello.
I kind of feel like the older men who should be example, or I shouldn't say older men, our generation,
Okay.
should be an example for this younger generation coming up. But I feel like our generation is so busy acting like the younger generation, trying to be in the what's this new age relationship type style.
Truth. Come on.
Coming from a Christian perspective, and I understand that, you know, men want sex, there's women that want the sex as well, but coming from a Christian perspective, we're talking about why marriage is a thing of the past and what have you, or this, that, and the other. But in the same sense, when you're dating, men expect, like they expect after first date, second date, that you know, if you don't go to bed with them, then oh well, everybody else, all the other ones, I'm gonna go out here to the other ones who are giving it away.
Right.
But if you're trying to keep yourself, you're trying to be wholesome, you're trying to live as a Christian or as a believer, as the Word of God tells you to, then you're some kind of weirdo or whatever. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna go to the ones who are going to give it to me. And just like I said, as far as being a provider, no, men don't want to be a provider if you're not giving it up. And I get what you said. I heard part of what you said, Kenny. But I was dialing in. I did,
Right.
come get off because I was decided to dial in. I get that. Where men don't have to be the provider, and you're just dating. You don't need to pay my rent and pay my car bill. No, you don't have to do that. I have a job. I can do that.
But answer this question though. But in that
Mm-hmm.
scenario though, love, what do you expect in terms of dating? No one wants to answer that question. What do you expect out of the man? Because obviously the man can't expect anything.
Well, first of all, as a believer, okay,
A
the
believer.
purpose of dating is to see if this person is someone that you would want to marry or you would want to spend the rest of your life with.
That's a good
That's
point.
the purpose of dating.
So how do
Okay?
you show the man your worth?
Well, first of all, as far as I'm concerned, I show my worth by, I cook, I clean. Any man that I've ever been with, I cook, I clean. One of your episodes before when you were talking about Father's Day buying gifts or whatever, I bought all kinds of gifts as well. I listen, I showed my worth. I showed what I had as far as with the man that I was with.
Okay,
That's
Or
true.
whoever
Right.
I date,
so
whatever.
I agree,
So,
but
everyone isn't like that. Where I'm
Correct.
coming from, every woman isn't like that. Every man is not like that. What I'm saying is from what I've experienced, from what your topic is tonight, we're talking about old school versus
New school.
new school relationships and so forth or whatever. In the dating world, because of my age, what I am now, I'm finding in the dating world now, trying to date, that the men that are our generation are acting just as if the younger generation are going from house to house, this to that. When I'm dating somebody at 50 years old, I don't want to have to take care of them to the point where I'm raising another child. My children are grown. I don't need to raise you. You should already be raised.
all right,
I don't want to do that.
all right.
So you should be coming to me as a man. If you're putting that title on that I'm the head of the household. God made me the man. I'm supposed to be the head of the household. Okay, then fit into your boots and be the man of the household. Be who you're supposed to be. Show that, present that. You're not supposed to be the man of the household when you're dating.
Correct.
You're just dating. You're
Correct.
Just trying to see who you are. You're not the head of the household at that point. And I'm not the wifey, you're not my husband or whatever. But we're still supposed to be trying to see what's going on there. If we're trying to see what's going on there, that don't mean I need to spread my legs when you're moving on to the next person. You're not giving a respect.
I got
That's
you.
not respect.
I'm with you on that one, Paulette. I'm with you.
But what happens a lot of times in these situations is whatever the man, like when Kenny said, take sex off the table, sex might come off the table, but the women of this new generation,
Mhm.
they'll still expect you. Well, I need a little help with my light bill. I need a little help. Like, I don't think in my lifetime I've ever asked a woman to help me pay my light bill, my cell phone.
And how do they look? And how would they look at us if we did?
And if we didn't do it, they'll say, well, you ain't doing that because I'm not sleeping with you.
No, but listen here. And
No,
I
I'm
get
just
that.
making a statement.
No, we're just making.
a
We're
statement.
not. We're talking about in general, because
I'm hearing you with that, but you were saying, what do you have to offer when you bring it to the table?
exactly.
When you come to the table and you got kids that don't belong to you, and you bringing your kids for you to take care of your kids, for you to raise your kids, for you to watch your kids, for you to feed your kids, for you to do this for your kids or whatever. You're bringing a lot to the table because you're doing a lot, and it's the same. It's vice versa. When that woman has kids and that guy is doing whatever, it is vice versa or whatever. But I don't want it to be as if the guy is providing all of, and the woman's not. When a woman is working but still yet coming home, cooking, making sure you eat, that your kids eat, that are not her kids, but making sure your kids eat. Whenever you want them to go out to go shopping for your kids because whatever's not being taken care of at their own whatever house, they put you in charge of. You going to do that when you're going to go get their. I mean, when you're going to do, it's I don't want to put all kinds of stuff out there, but what I'm saying is, you are providing, you are there, you for whatever. There's times where the men says, "Hey, can you go down here? Can you do this for me? Can you go run do this for me? Can you take care of this for me? Oh, I don't know how to do this business. Can you call? Can you take care of this? Can you do that?" It's a lot of stuff that's done.
And Paulette, you know what? You're absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
But the reason why I keep bringing it up, Paulette, is because no one has given me that answer you just gave me. And I agree.
And not only that, see, you're the old school, you're the good old school woman. We're talking, and that's what the topic is, though. The old school versus the new school. And what I see, did y'all see the thing on Facebook right now where the guy got a kid by this girl and he comes by to bring her some food and she's mad because he didn't bring enough food for all of her kids?
Yeah.
And he's standing there like, well, what are you saying? And she's like snapping out. I didn't even understand the premise of that. I was lost because she was expecting him every time you do something, don't come here unless you're taking care of all of that. And he was saying, well, I'm trying to be a good father to my child. And that's part of the old school versus new school.
So I'm trying to catch up. Thank you, Paulette. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good
You're
word.
welcome.
All right. Good. That was wonderful.
It was.
Tressa said woman should pour. Woo, I don't know if women gonna go for all this one.
Tell her to call in. I want to hear that.
He said the woman should pour her hopes and dreams into her man so he can lift the family up.
But all right, you know something that I think Paulette touched on that too.
She
though.
did.
But that's something you do after you're married.
After you married,
That's
right?
there's a difference
There's
though.
a difference.
What's happening now in the new school, they're pouring all their hopes and dreams into their relationship and before marriage. Like I remember one time I was talking to my son and I said, son, you got to have your own. You can't move in with some girl and leave all your stuff over there. Because when something happens, you're going to try to get that TV back that you bought that's in her house. And that's going to be a problem.
Well, somebody said the only women that will follow is a traditional one. Because I think what they're trying to allude to is that these young generations, they ain't trying to follow. And if they will follow them, they're gonna follow them somewhere else.
And once again, that's I get to go back on it, but Paula just speak on it. Biblically speaking, the Bible says that it's not hard for a woman to submit unto a man who she knows loves her.
Right.
See, if you got a woman that knows he loves her,
You're right,
it changes
Leroy.
the game. She'll follow.
Leroy, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Kenny's Corner, go ahead with your question or comment, please.
2 hours.
Yes. Little brother Kenny and little brother James, double James. You should know who this is.
I'm sorry, your call's been
The
disconnected.
ongoing question that keeps going on. You say, what do women want? You know, I think we're bouncing around the subject a little bit on what we want, what we're gonna stand for, and our rights being taken from us. And I don't want to be doped. I don't want to be played. All this, but I think really like anybody, a woman wants to be loved. She wants to be respected. She wants to have that feeling of security, and she wants to know her man is there. She wants to feel that when her man says he's going out, she needs to know he's coming back home to her and ain't smelling nothing like, he needs to smell like the same cologne he left when he left the house. But aside from all that, when you also say, when a woman says, well, you want to help me with the light bill, can you help me like that? And what if you don't help? And what's she gonna feel some kind of way? But if you're really tuned into that woman and she's hard working and she's into you, you may even offer it and just say, baby, do you need any help with anything? So before a woman say ask, I just say maybe, and if the man sees how much she's struggling and she's doing all these things and he never asks one iota, doesn't offer to do anything to take the load off of her, he may not be the right man. And it may be time to just pass him the gun. I'm done. Y'all can
All right, girl.
Wait,
All
first,
right.
before you go, first of all, your voice was so soothing. It's the way you said it. And that leads me to my point with this. The old school woman was taught, if something's broke, your refrigerator's broke, you don't tell him and whine about your refrigerator broke. He asks for something to drink, just bring him a hot cup of Kool-Aid. And he'll drink, be like, what's wrong, baby? The refrigerator's not working right. And he'll get up and say, let me take a look at that. See, there used to be an art to it, a femininity. Her femininity was strong. Nowadays, it's not like that anymore.
Brad Sims says everyone today is out for self.
Wait a minute, what was Barbara? What were you saying?
I was gonna say, James, everybody knows, well, old school anyway, we always know you can catch more flies than honey.
Hey, and that's okay. Let the church say
And
amen.
that's.
Listen.
All right, fellas.
Thank you very much. My phone keeps buffering. I am so far behind.
Oh, well, then
Listen,
what?
no.
go ahead.
This
Go
is
on.
hot over here.
Bring the hot. Bring the heat.
I'm so far behind. America says nowadays women are bringing more to the table than a man. This is true.
This is true.
This is true, but that doesn't diminish that I am the man. Like if you making $80,000 and I'm making $40,000, I'm still the man. I'm still the man.
No, she still has to allow him to be the man.
Well, you have to allow me to still be the man. Exactly. Because it shouldn't be about that money. It should be about us. And I think Lee said growing together. It's really not about cooking or cleaning. You're right, Leroy. We just use those examples. It shouldn't be about cooking and cleaning, but it should be about the mind. What can we provide together? How can we grow together? And this is the truth. But somewhere it gets lost. Leroy said, listen, man can't just provide by themselves anymore. Rent is no longer $50. Rent's 12, 13, 14, 2,000, 2,200 in whatever state you in. I'm telling you, you're right. You need both of them incomes to keep things moving. That is a must. Tressa said then he needs to work 2 jobs.
Wow.
Oh,
That is the mentality of some women.
and so instead of seeing what he brings or what to the table, why not balance each other out? And that's the goal. We have to find the balance. And every relationship is different. Every relationship is different. I mean that. You got some relationship where the man does everything. He does the cooking, he does the laundry, he does all that. Doesn't make him not a man. It's just that that's his strong point. And the wife, because at one time the man was responsible for the financials, and then the wife would just sit back and look at him saying, now this joker can't add 3 + 3 and I'm letting him run our finances in the dirt. So sometimes we have to be, as men, we have to relinquish that responsibility and say, baby, it's all on you. But see, now this is the pride of the man now. I don't want you to see how much I make. I don't want you to see all I got, because the immature man always want a little side stash, to do what he want to do on the side. And we trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, but see, now we're back to where your heart lies, where your treasure is.
Where your treasure-
If she's
yeah.
your treasure, these are not issues that you have to face. And what happens is like when we were talking about the different issues and the different things that when Paula was speaking and Barb was speaking, and she was saying how a woman just wants to need that you love her, she's secure, but that they changed that in the new generation of women. They changed that. Those 3 things used to be the priority, but they're not the priority no more. It's what have you done for me lately? How you going to move for me? As long as you're giving to me, I'm fine. Like when you said take sex off the table, and then if you take sex off the table and a man doesn't do for you, she wants to go, well, since you ain't getting sex no more, I guess you ain't gonna help me with what I need help with. But that's all about, in the first place, should I be helping you with that in the first place? Because this is not my house. I'm not your provider. We're dating, we're getting to know.
Brad says men are natural born providers, but when they become the breadwinners, they look down on us.
Well, that's called
demasculation. Is that what it is? Demasculation?
But see, now all right, here's a good point. I went to a conference one time, I'm doing real quick, I think I said this before, and it was all women conference, and she got up and preached for about 45 minutes about how the man was the head of the household. And she talked all about it and how the man was supposed to do this and the man was do that. And he's supposed to lead, and the women just got quiet and silent. After she was done, after those 34, 40 minutes, she said, now women, I want to tell you something. The man might be the head, but you're the neck. And if you're smart about your game, and if you have your femininity on point, you're the neck, and you can turn that head any way you want. And if you do it right, he'll think that it's his idea.
Yeah. America says even an alpha female will submit to a man if she knows he is capable of leading her, regardless if she makes more than him. So now
you gotta be alpha male.
Now America, now you're talking. Thank you, America, because now you're talking about solely the responsibility of a man. We have to show that we are capable, that we are in it, that we are going to be that strong man for you, whether you make more money than me or not, that we are there for you. So yes, Jennifer said exactly, you're right. It doesn't make a difference how strong that woman is. If they see that man leading in the right direction, even they will submit. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is hot, but time is over. We could have went on for a whole nother hour.
I'm not leaving.
I love y'all. And like I always say, I can't control what happens on the streets of New York, DC, Baltimore, or Pittsburgh, but I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner.
Stay tuned next week, part 2.
Yeah.
Are we off the air?